So don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ is in the studio with me. How you doing?
You are Greg the Dive Master.
I am indeed. I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff. I actually even came up with a new logo for me.
Why?
I don't know. I was like, I've been doing a lot of graphic stuff this week, CJ. And I was like, we have this Scuba Radio guitar in the works. And I was like, this is going to be a signature model guitar. So maybe I need to put like my model on it. Oh, thank you. He just adjusted our logo for the World of Boating.
Speaking of
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch live feed. Yeah. So anyway, but we have the Scuba Radio guitar in the works right now. And it's coming along pretty cool.
I've seen the sneak peek of the mock-up of the graphics.
Right.
And this thing is going to look bad.
It is pretty sweet. And, you may ask, what does a guitar have to do with scuba diving? Well, really nothing.
Well, let's put it this way. Better an electric guitar than a ukulele.
Oh, well, that's in the works as well, by the way. Yeah, it is.
Not really necessary.
But you know how, like, Slash from Guns N' Roses has his own signature line of Gibson Les Pauls.
So you're putting yourself on the same level as Slash.
Well, at least in the scuba diving guitar world I am. Because I believe I might be the first one who's ever done such a thing. So I'm thinking, like Slash has his little Insignia that he put on his special edition Gibson Les Paul. This Scuba Radio guitar, which is kind of like a Telecaster type model that's going to be wrapped in a Scuba Radio logo and all kinds of dive-themed flags and stuff. I might need to put my little insignia on it. So I created a little Greg the Dive Master insignia.
Well, where can I see this?
Well, I could show you, but then I don't think anybody else is going to be able to see this.
Who cares?
All right, so I'm going to pull it up just for CJ to see only.
I'll describe what I see.
And you will say that it is genius, or you will say that, what the hell were you thinking? You think?
It could, I've got a pretty cool dive logo too.
You do? How so?
It's on my website.
Which is?
cjvoices.com.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, I like that.
You like my little...
It's very minimalist, but it's simple and powerful.
And you get it? It's kind of a little take on Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You get that reference, I guess, too.
That's an old one for the kids, but
right.
But it still looks cool. It's really cool. I love it.
You do?
Yeah, I do like it.
So that should go on the Scuba Radio guitar, you think, huh?
Well, if there's a lot of red and white already on there, where would you put it?
Well, I don't know.
On the neck? Or on the headstock?
You'd put it, yeah. You'd put it on the headstock of the guitar.
I like that.
You like it? Okay,
yeah.
see?
I'm surprised. I
thought you were building it up like you typically do.
I thought it was going to suck, but it doesn't.
I'm going to be let down as I usually am.
You did that all by yourself?
I did, actually. How about that, huh?
That's
shocking.
Amazing.
All right, so CJ likes it. So I guess we're going to have to figure out a way to put it out there to the world and let them view, or I'll just wait because I'm still fine-tuning this.
If you can send that to me, I can hold up my laptop to one of the cameras and
real high-tech. Yeah, we are kind of a high-tech radio show. Sure, we could do that.
Don't talk to me about what we can't do. Tell me what we can do.
Okay, so just text it to you. Is that what you're saying? That's what I do?
Don't text it. Well, then that's my phone.
Okay. Then you could hold up your phone.
Send it to my email.
Send it to you. Yeah, you're asking for way too much.
All right, text me then.
No, I'm not doing it.
Use my phone. It's a little smaller than my laptop.
This is what we call in the radio biz a tease.
I thought it was a cluster F.
A Charlie Foxtrot.
Yes.
Okay. So.
Come in, over.
A combination of those, I believe. But I'm surprised. I really expected you to go. You were out of your mind.
No, it looks cool.
Okay, well there you go.
I
So,
like it.
well, these are the things that I've been doing on our surface interval.
I mean, you might
Well, I
want to
can't
tweak
dive.
it a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's
so
not
that we can
complete.
make out the GD.
No, that's all you. Yeah, that's what you get. Sorry.
Okay.
Don't try to improve on perfection.
I mean, I know what it is because I know what the letters are supposed to be, but
Yeah.
maybe for those who don't
Well, it's supposed to
know-
be subliminal. I mean, like if you see.
Oh, as all the best advertising is.
Well, no, it's not advertising in this case. This is the
Let's
insignia.
make it hard to figure out.
No, like if you look at one of Slash's Les Pauls,
Again.
he has this weird little insignia of some kind of thing or character or what. You can't tell. You wouldn't know what the hell.
No,
that was.
well, I know what one of them is. Have
What
you
do you
seen
mean?
the one? It looks like almost something like you'd see on a mud flap. It's chrome, and it's like a naked lady and
naked lady.
wearing a top hat. Have you seen that one?
I have. I don't know if that's it or not. It looks like a bunch of chicken scratch to me.
No, then you haven't seen it. You would know it.
All right, Bubble Boy chimed in with something. I don't know what that was, but anyway, we'll see. I haven't decided if that's going to go on the guitar or not, but I'm pretty excited, as you can tell. And you've seen
Well,
the
don't you
mock-up.
have to get it to the people that are putting this together?
They have it now. They have the guitar. They're getting ready to.
Well, you said
finish
you
up
weren't
the graphic.
sure, so get it to them,
Well,
get it done.
they're going to
Come
email
on.
back and forth the final design, but they have the guitar in hand now. I took it over there yesterday, and they're working on laying out the graphics because they needed the actual guitar that they're going to.
So at least
print
maybe
and wrap.
maybe it'll be played well somewhere in its life.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'll have someone else play it, but it will be an official Greg the Dive Master signature Scuba Radio guitar.
Living the dream, man.
Hey, that's right.
Living the dream.
Okay, enough about me. No, we got 2 hours to fill. I'm sure I'll come up with something else that'll be about me. But before we do
I
that,
got nothing.
let's bring on the rest of the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. That'll include Barry the Bugger, Jerry the Diver Guy, Captain DeMartini, who's down at the Gomez Hilton. We have Captain Kyle on, who's with us today as well. We haven't figured out what kind of diver moniker we should name Kyle.
I was gonna say I didn't know it was Captain.
I just threw it in there because he's in the middle of the
He's
screen
testing the
on
waters.
YouTube. Yeah, and Bubble Boy.
I like the alliteration though.
He's flanked by Bubble Boy and Captain DeMartini.
Good
So,
company.
yeah.
Good company.
Well, I don't. It make him look better, maybe. You think?
I won't.
No,
I'm not gonna get sucked into your reindeer games.
All right. Well, Kyle, welcome. Regardless. Yeah. So,
Himmy.
Himmy, why? What did Himmy do? What is he doing?
He pulled a move where he looked to his right like he was looking toward
yes.
the middle. And
You can see this all on
Hollywood
YouTube
Squares.
and Facebook and everything. Yeah, but anyway, we got a full crew and we got a lot of stuff to navigate through today. We're going to share some anecdotes.
Anecdotes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe
Antidote?
it's anecdote.
Wrong. No, these are going to be antidotes for lionfish stings, an actual antidote.
Oh,
Like a
okay.
magic formula.
An anecdote about an antidote.
We could do that too.
So urinating on it doesn't work?
Excuse me?
What?
Urinating on the sting doesn't
I
work?
thought he said you're dating on it. I was like, what is he saying?
Urinating is not a Virginia word.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, regardless of what Jerry the Diver Guy is and what Barry
I
tried
put
to translate.
pee in your cook.
No, that's not an antidote. That's more of a
Poison.
a punking kind of thing. But no, we have a lady on today who's been doing a lot of research. We actually interviewed her at the DEMA show a little over a year ago, and she was studying lionfish stings and coming up with a formula to finally counter the stinging cells of a lionfish, which is something that, is not good.
Good
If you-
Russian vodka.
Well, that is one. I guess you could call that an antidote as well.
To be taken orally.
But you don't really need to be stung by a jellyfish or a lionfish to partake in
It's just
such
a general
stuff.
all-around anesthetic.
Okay. All right. CJ's working on his medicine. But this is actually an ointment type of thing that you rub on a stung area that would supposedly immediately nullify the stinging cells of a lionfish sting, which if you've never seen this happen to you or it's never happened to you or someone you know is one thing. But if you've seen it, I can guarantee you will not want to be that person, and you will do whatever possible to make sure that never happens to you. I've seen grown men cry under such situations. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that and obviously this potential antidote today on the big show. That and Casey the Tobacco Nut got a boat. What are we going to do with it? We'll find out next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Need an escape from reality for a while? Your favorite scuba action star, Mike Scott, is back in an all-new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys: Reefs Under Pressure. From the brilliant mind of author Eric Douglas comes the thriller that started it all. Listen as Mike unravels the death of a girl, the protest of new development, and the systemic destruction of coral reefs, all against the stunning backdrop of Grand Cayman Island. This one's got it all: submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface. When he was ready and completely relaxed, he wrapped his arms through the straps of the seat cushion and gently slid into the water.
Dive back into adventure with Cayman Cowboys. Also available, Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish. Download all 5 audiobooks now at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, or audible.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks. New destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly manfish.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
What you doing in my waters?
The show is a disaster.
I got something to show you.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
Hi there.
Master. Dive Master. Dive Master. Dive Master.
I'm old Greg. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Nart. Hello, fishies.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ is in the studio with me.
What up?
Yeah, we have the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. Barry the Bugger, Jerry the Diver Guy, Captain Walt DiMartini. We got Kyle. Kyle, I don't know. We haven't figured out what his something. He'll do something that will give him a name of notoriety, like Bubble Boy or Casey the Tobacco Nut.
And I'm here just for you, Greg.
Yeah, well, thank you. The fact that he took time, Casey in particular, took time away from his new vessel to join us on the Scuba Radio today says a lot.
I could be on the boat right now, but I'm here.
Okay, I was going to say the reason is that he's already sunk it, but that wasn't the case, was it?
No,
good.
No, as a matter of fact, but I did take it off just the other day. We went 20 miles into the Gulf to the first rock pile, and I will be diving next weekend.
Oh, wait, you took it out there and then you didn't dive? You just scoped it out? Is that what you did?
I just wanted to, I was breaking into new engine and things, so.
Ah, okay. So you went out to where you
go-
think you will dive eventually, and set it up. Yeah, Barry.
There's
What?
an artificial reef at 30 feet.
So he goes out there and he says, "Yep, there's the rock pile. Let's go dive some rocks."
Okay, thanks for that, Barry. Anyway, Casey, what type of vessel is it?
It's a 20-foot Hurricane deck boat. I've got a high-performance Yamaha outboard on it.
Oh, nice. Jerry, what say you?
Can you start adding in a little bit more features to the show to where we can just like mute Barry?
No.
All right. See, the Jerry and Barry show has already started,
You can
CJ.
listen a little bit more.
Jerry, I found if you take 1-inch pieces of electrical tape, you can
What?
block Jerry's face out.
Oh, well.
Wow, let the trash talk begin.
Back to the bottom you go, Casey.
They really
All
love each other. That's how we know our crew gets along.
Yeah, they fight like an old married couple.
Exactly. So God bless them for it, But
I love Barry. I really do.
I know you do in ways we can't really discuss on the radio. So not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's okay, Greggy.
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
such a lovely guitar logo.
Yes. We'll see.
So, speaking of diving, next week I'm going to see if there's lobsters in those rock piles.
Well, that's there should be. You got till the end of March to make that happen.
Yep.
To
I
find
need
out.
to scope some out.
I actually saw some posts on YouTube of some folks that were lobster hunting off the west coast of Florida like that. And they went a ways offshore, but boy, they brought some big lobsters back. And I was like, is that a Gulf Coast Gulf Coast?
Gulf Coast?
Or is it or is this an end of the season thing that the lobsters have just gotten large,
I don't
since
know.
they
I'll have
survived?
to check that out for you and give you a report back.
Okay. Well, I don't want a report. I actually want their tails.
Well, maybe you'll need to do a road trip and leave your studio.
That could happen.
He is.
That is the
Doesn't
plan.
leave that little.
He is leaving next week. He's coming to Fort Lauderdale with me.
Yeah, well, okay. Sounds like I just lost something.
So it's just you and Jerry in Fort Lauderdale.
No,
That's right.
here we
How
go.
romantic.
Okay, that's not the truth of it.
You started this, Greg.
It's spring break with Greg and Jerry.
Okay. Well, it is kind of the beginning of spring break, isn't it?
Yes, it
So,
is.
so Jerry will probably show up and start.
Where's Mankini again?
Yeah, he'll start with the wet T-shirt contest or something for sure.
Yeah, and all the women will come flocking in.
Yeah. Well, if you say so. In his
Just
mind.
remember, Greg, that zipper on your chest was from a narwhal attack.
That's true. And I don't know what that would do for me, but
It
just
made
something
you
like
eat bananas.
Got to be a great line at a bar.
chicks dig scars. I think that's what he's trying to say.
That
You
and
know,
$5 will get you a coffee at
yeah,
Starbucks.
maybe if you're lucky. All right,
$5 get you two.
if you say so.
I've got a bowl of chocolate cereal in my pants.
What the hell was that?
What the was that?
I have no idea what that came.
I sent that to Greg as a joke, and now he's putting it on the air. I love it.
Well, it sounds like you guys were as amused as I was.
I thought you might use that.
Actually, I kind of thought that really was CJ.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah, I pitched it up.
Oh, okay. I thought it was some kind of mythical creature.
Like a narwhal?
Maybe. Could have been. That's usually how they sound, I believe.
Well,
But anyway,
we are away from March, and March is St. Patrick's Day. Maybe it was a leprechaun.
Oh, good point.
Just remember, though, about those narwhal. Don't let them touch your balls.
Yes, there is that.
True.
There's a whole thing. There's a whole history. Kyle, you look like you got something you want to say, or just like, oh, God, what did I get myself into?
Please.
I don't know. I just saw some. I'm watching here on the live stream here.
Yeah.
And I just saw some random guy walk up behind Captain Walt back there with a stick and a dog. So I don't know. I'm just.
Oh, that's typical. That he's doing his training. So when Walt says something out of line, he whacks him with the stick.
Seems a little harsh.
Yeah, but no, that's what he does.
Effective, though.
Yeah. By the way, Kyle, I think you need to switch your mic. I think you got your settings on your computer and not on your microphone. Does that make sense? Sound real echoey.
Backwards.
Yeah, sounds real echoey. But that's okay. It's all good. We still heard him.
He's just starting out. He's just a little guy.
Yeah, maybe. Well, if you can come up with a name for Kyle, I mean, he's a diver in training, so to speak. And
what, Greg, you want us all to call him names? Is that it?
No, well, he needs to earn his moniker. You know, his Scuba Radio
him with names.
gang member name, you know, or something, or whatever, or mob name, whatever it may be. You know, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Bubble Boy, Jerry the Diver Guy, Barry the Bugger.
Sharktooth Kyle.
No.
That's two strikes, Barry, 2 strikes.
Then what happens on 3?
What can I do with it?
We just let him continue on.
He'll fire me.
He gets his pants full of chocolate.
No, we'll cut his salary in half.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
Cut his salary in half. All right, Kyle, did you have something? You raised your hand. It looked like. He's in the center square, so he's getting a lot of attention, maybe more than he wants. Yeah?
He doesn't want to think about the chocolate syrup.
Well,
Chocolate syrup.
okay. Well, fair enough. All right. Well, that's fine. All right. So, anyway, we are going to find out about lionfish stings. By the way, is anybody, as part of the crew, have any of you actually been stung yourself by a lionfish?
No, I stay the hell away from them.
Okay. Casey, no?
I had a dive master, was on a dive, get hit with one.
Okay, that's not you.
Great story.
Yeah. All right. So I don't think any one of our crew members have been stung, but we know people that have. And you don't want to be that guy or gal. We'll tell you about it next. Take a look.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Conventional underwater scooters can be heavy, unwieldy, and underpowered. At just over 8 pounds and with speeds of up to 7 miles per hour, the Scuba Jet Pro dive scooter is a game changer and fits in your dive bag. The Scuba Jet Pro uses an eco-friendly jet engine with impeller technology. With adapters, it can even power paddleboards, canoes, kayaks, and all kinds of water sports equipment. It's the most versatile scooter you'll ever own. Learn more and get the Scuba Jet Pro at ScubaJet.com. That's ScubaJet.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to Nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new Scuba Radio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 Scuba Radio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New Scuba Radio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. That is the Scuba Cowboy. I am Greg the Dive Master. I got a guitar in the works, and Pup, as we call him, the Scuba Cowboy, Pup Morse, he's going to join us a little later on, not to talk about the new Scuba Radio guitar, but to talk about the fact, possibly, well, if he can join us, that what it's like to be stung by a lionfish, because I was with him in Curacao when that happened.
Does he remember it, though?
He might have blocked it out. If I was him, I would have blocked it out. And I will say he took it like a man, because we were literally at the beginning of the dive, and he had a little lionfish snare with him, little
looper.
It wasn't a looper. No, it wasn't a snare. I guess it was a
tickle
like a
stick.
Hawaiian sling.
A Hawaiian sling, yeah, short one. The ones for lionfish are about a third of the length of a Hawaiian sling. And so he had this, and he was spearing the lionfish, stuffing them in a zookeeper, as we call them, little PVC container for lionfish. And at the beginning of the dive, he shot a couple, no problem, stuffed them in the zookeeper. And then about the third one he went after, right after he stabbed it, he put it in the lionfish container, and he pulled out the barb and everything, right? And then he took his spear, and he took his other hand and rubbed off the prongs, because there was some leftover lionfish meat on there, and it actually had a lionfish barb on that thing. So he actually got stung by a lionfish.
I think I see where he went wrong.
Yes. He'll never do that again. But for the, and I was like, I look over at him, and I see that, he just got stung by a lionfish, and I can see him like, he did kind of sound like that, actually. But he was like pushing at his hand. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to have to, cancel the dive. But he said, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ending this dive yet. I'll tell you where it ends next.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Since you can survive underwater, you'll go out and look for food.
I better go too. They don't know what I like.
Fry, no! The pressure will crush you like a green snake under a sugarcane truck.
Not necessarily. This is a chance for Fry to test out my experimental anti-pressure pill. I can't swallow that. Well then, good news. It's a suppository.
Holy diver, you've been down too long in the midnight sea. Oh, what's becoming of me?
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ's in the studio with me. Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad connected via the web. Barry the Bugger, Jerry the Diver Guy, Captain Walty Martini, Bubble Boy, Kyle. We'll just call him Kyle for now. And Casey the Tobacco Nut, and even Vinny Two Tanks is with us now. Now, I'm sharing this story about a lionfish situation with the Scuba Cowboy. I was in Curacao with him a couple of years ago. Actually, it's probably about 3 now. And we were there for a few days doing some diving. And we did a really cool thing where we had an outing with the folks from Ocean Frontiers, and they took us to this site where they have a lot of lionfish, and we were going there to clean them out. And after the third one, he gets one, he stings it, or he stabs it with his spear, stuffs it in the zookeeper, this PVC container that you can, get for lionfish. You can find them up on the intrawebs.
Zucchini, got it.
No, zookeeper. Just Google it. And he stuffs it in there, gets the lionfish off his pole, but there's some leftover goo. And he takes his other hand, clears off the spears, and as he does that, he stabs his palm with a leftover lionfish barb that happened to be hanging on the spear. He didn't realize it was actually a barb from the lionfish. So he got stung, and I look over and see him. This is at the beginning of the dive, and I'm like, great. Oh, our dive is done. Let's go to the surface. I look at him. You ready to go up? He goes, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. No way. It was too good of a dive, and it was. It was an awesome dive, and I look at him. He's like working at his palm, trying to squeeze goo out of his palm of his hand, trying to, and you see little clouds of blood or pus or something that's starting to swell up, but he doesn't cancel the dive. And I was like, gosh, I know these things are painful, but he was having so much fun. He didn't want to cancel the dive. And I appreciated that, but I was prepared to call it, but he said, no, I'm not calling it yet. So we ended up doing the entire dive. And I was like, well, maybe he didn't get stung as bad as I thought he did. And sure enough, we got to the surface. And we get on the boat, and I'm like, dude, what happened? He goes, and he told me, that's how he got it. He goes, I was squeezing the pus. I probably squeezed like a pound of pus out of my palm. And I think I got all the goo out of there, so it won't hurt as bad.
Hear that, ladies?
I don't think it was pus.
What do you think it was, Casey?
Slime.
Okay. Well,
but not poison.
6 of 1, half dozen either.
Slime. All right. Lionfish slime.
Chemical things.
Ectoplasm.
Right. The stuff. Yeah. That's right. The stuff from the Ghostbusters was.
I mean, doesn't Pup need both hands to play the guitar?
Well, that was the concern because he had a gig that night. So.
No. Has anybody heard him play lately?
Yeah, I have. He's fine.
Maybe he's playing one-handed slide guitar.
No, but I think even with a Lionfish swollen hand, Pup would probably still be a little better than Greg.
No, that's not true. Anyway, so we get to the surface, and he tells me, I was squeezing the entire dive, thinking that maybe I could just squeeze the venom out of my hand so it doesn't turn into a big mess.
Are you sure he was squeezing his hand?
As far as I could tell, I didn't watch that closely. So, we're close, but not that close. Just dive buddies. Not like Jerry and Barry.
Did you squeeze his hand for him?
Okay, enough. So we get back to the dock because that was the end of the dive day regardless. And, he's like, he goes, he's moving his hand around. And
long story short, he had to have it amputated.
Well, that would have made it for a great story, huh?
Greg's fault.
No, the truth was we got back to the dock and you can see his demeanor starts to change from like, I think I got it to like, uh-oh. And by the time we get back to the dock and take our gear off the boat, and now he's like, I got to do something. And you know what you do in a case like
CBD
that.
oil.
No, you do that for anything.
Yes,
That's
course.
right. Now, if we would have had that
Water.
available to us, I'm sure we would have done that or he would have done that. Actually,
just run it under hot water, Greg.
That's right. Hot water is as strong as you can stand. That's what, if you call Dan, usually that's what they'll say.
And hot pee.
No. Actually, the urine thing, it doesn't work. That's an old wives' tale. It really doesn't do anything.
Jellyfish.
It doesn't work for jellyfish either.
Ammonia.
But it makes for a great story, so don't take my word for it. Just go ahead and tell them, oh, yeah, you got to pee on it. Got to pee on it.
So you're peeing on old wives.
For that, Greg.
Yeah. And so as hot a water as you can take without it, burning your hand, you want to put your hand in that water, and that will
breaks down the protein.
There you go. See, Casey knows. How do you know this? Just from
because I've had people got stuck, and I've called Dan, and I've learned what to do.
Yeah. Well, you have not by a lionfish, but by jellyfish, which is similar.
No, lionfish.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Same thing. All right. Yeah.
They had the pain radiating up their arm and all that. And as soon as they hit the hot water showers, it was about 15 minutes later, they said they felt fine.
Yeah. Well, did the slime build up in them as well? Like
no, there was no pus or
there was
slime.
no slime or pus.
They just said it hurt like, you know what?
Well, he figured that he was, pushing the goo out of his palm. And
speaking of goo, who wants to go out for raw oysters later?
Oh, yummy. Yummy. There you go. You got some takers.
I don't know. How long have they been raw?
Their whole lives.
How about that? So anyway, there's how you solve the problem. And luckily for him, his hand did become stiff, but he was able to still perform. It was his left hand, so it was his finger, fingering board thing, so he could still play chords. But his hand was a little stiff, but he got through the gig that night. But and I will say he did not shed a tear. He just looked like he was going to.
I only want to be with you.
Yeah, actually played into his performance. It did. Made it sound more convincing.
Helped the blues out, didn't it?
Yeah.
So he was gigging Lionfish, and then he got through his gig.
There you go. See, Casey brings it all the way home.
Da-na-na-na. I ain't got no band. Da-na-na-na. I got stung in the hand. Don't pee on my hand.
No, don't do that.
His new nickname is Old No Hand.
Oh, golly.
Lefty.
Yeah. But what I saw as being his dive buddy is that I definitely do not want to be him. I don't want to have that go. I don't know. I think I would have cried.
Maybe just don't go with your,
Yeah, don't do that. He'll never do that again for sure. But, I know other people that have gotten stung. I actually know some folks, actually on that same boat, we had a guy who was cleaning the lionfish that we caught that day. Pole is what his name was in Curacao. And he claimed to had built up an immunity to lionfish stings. It was literally, we had a whole, at the end of the day, including the lionfish that Pup had speared, we had a 5-gallon bucket of lionfish. And, they had water in them, and you couldn't really, the water was a little murky. So as we were cruising back to the dock, and Pup was nursing his hand, Pole started cleaning the lionfish on the boat as we were going back to the dock. And he would just take his bare hands, stick it in the bucket, pull up a lionfish, and clean it right there in front of us.
That's just showing off.
Well, I was like, wait a minute, you can't even see her. And you go, I know how to. I just go down there and feel around. Like, oh, there's one. Okay. Then he pulls it out of the water, cleans it. I'm like, don't you get stung that way? He goes, yeah, a little bit sometimes. But I've been stung so many times, I've built up an immunity.
I don't believe it.
I don't think he has any feeling. I think he might have been an alien. I don't know.
Stick a fork in it.
Yeah, but he claimed to have been stung so many times that he had built up an immunity to it, and that he wasn't concerned. So I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Well, it's not deadly. It's just very painful.
Let me ask you this, Greg. Yeah. Along that same logic, does an old whore build up an immunity to becoming pregnant?
Interesting observation.
God,
and we'll leave it at that. So, I don't know if there's truth to that, or that just is a weird, thing that he claimed to have. But all the times that he could feel it, I would imagine were extremely painful.
Dude, you really want to impress me? Dunk your face in there.
Okay.
For lionfish.
Yeah. Now that would have been an impressive
That would
trick.
be cool.
Yeah, but I wouldn't advise that either. There's many other ways to impress the ladies.
That sounds like one of those TikTok video challenges.
Really?
Sure does, Casey.
All right. Well, if you say so. I say Casey take the lead on that one. But I agree. I'd back him. Hashtag Scuba Radio, because they'd go viral. And he'd probably get a virus, because it's probably not a healthy thing either. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea. Under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ's in the studio with me.
I like to call this one the bonus hour.
Why is that?
You already had a full hour of
something.
Well, we call it entertainment.
Yeah.
But
what was that in your pants?
Album.
It
was a chocolate cereal.
Something like that, yeah. So there was a little bit of that we provided for an entire hour. And if that weren't enough, we have stuff like this.
Scuba Radio, Saturday afternoons, Eastern Time, 3 to 5. Even the kids are hip to our jive.
Yeah.
I would fire that jingle company.
Okay.
Goodbye,
Please
auto
don't do that
tune.
again.
What? I don't know.
Greg.
Yeah, Jerry the
Greg,
Diver Guy.
Greg.
What say you? Yeah.
That went out in 1980.
What are you talking about?
Hip and jive.
No, that's what we call retro.
No.
Yeah, it is. Classic.
Archaic.
Yeah.
Archaic.
Greg went back
That's
to
what we
Disney
call
World.
don't do that.
What are you talking about?
If you love diving,
Yeah.
you should listen to Scuba Radio.
Yeah, see?
Wow.
He went back to Disney World this week, so he's
So-
probably reliving his youth.
Okay, if you say so. No, I'm
Enough
just
of this, Greg. Pronounce the names of our new guests.
okay. Yes, we do have a couple new guests with us. Stephanie, that was easy enough.
I'll finish the rest of it.
Yes.
And Renee, is it Renee or is it what is it? Help me out. No,
No,
Ray.
don't help him. Don't help him. Don't help him.
Oh, it's not
Pretty
a.
far
Got
off.
50%. One guessed right, one guessed wrong.
Well, hey, that's better than most.
a lot of names before. Renee is a new one.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the print and it's really, really small.
Sorry. It's
Reza.
So he's in it.
Reza. What is it?
Reza, yeah.
Reza. Okay, there we go. Reza.
He has
Sorry
a
about that.
60-inch TV in there, and he can't see it.
Just
Okay.
call him doctor.
All right, just stop. I'll do the mistakes on this show. Thank you very
We
much.
warned them ahead of time, Greg.
Right, I did. I apologized in advance to Stephanie before we brought her on the show today. I said, "Hey, get ready. It's gonna go downhill from here." So, and the bar's low because we're divers. So that's just how we roll, Stephanie and Reza.
Well, it's not so bad. At least you got Stephanie right.
That's right. See, 1 out of 2.
You haven't been here long. Give it time.
Yeah, Eric Douglas with us as well.
It's
Eric,
old
how are you,
quick.
buddy? You can see everybody on Facebook Live and YouTube and everything. Eric, how you doing, bud?
This is the biggest assembled group I think I've ever seen.
Oh, well, you haven't been with us lately. Yeah, it's a regular Brady Bunch kind of thing we got
He's
going.
writing books.
Yeah. So,
It's the Brady Bunch with grandchildren.
well, okay.
Brady Bunch on fertility drugs.
All right, everyone quiet. I'm talking to Stephanie and Reza right now because they are our special guests, so let's treat them that way. First off, Stephanie was on Scuba Radio. I believe it was at the DEMA show in Orlando. Wasn't that the last time we spoke,
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Yeah, in 2019, pre-COVID.
Yes. Yeah, pre-COVID, before pretty much everything ended. But it was really fascinating. She was going around the show, the big event, talking to people about lionfish and some research and some things that she was working on to study lionfish. And where do you go to school again, Stephanie? Bring everybody up to speed.
So I'm doing my PhD at McGill University up in Canada in the Department of Physiology. And I'm doing my PhD in Reza's lab, so in the Sharif Naini lab at McGill. And it's a pain lab. So we study specifically pain, and we're sort of interested in the molecules and cells that are responsible for sensing pain in the
Wow.
body.
So is
Reza
it one of
has-
those like labs where you put two people together and each one smacks the other one and you compare?
Pretty close.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I got some volunteers for you. The entire Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. I'd like to volunteer them for your next lab.
To be an OTC, we have to formulate it with the FDA regulations in mind.
Right.
So our formula has some lidocaine in it for that reason, but the lidocaine doesn't really do anything for lionfish stings, as anyone who's been stung by a lionfish can probably tell you.
Well, explain this to me. What the lidocaine, you had to put it in the formula because of why? Because the FDA says you have to, or what?
Red tape.
Yeah, if you want to make a product that's an over-the-counter drug, like drug, quote-unquote drug, that treats pain, you have to have in your active ingredients, one of the ingredients that are in the OTC's list, the FDA's list of approved OTC ingredients for pain. Lidocaine is one of them. So we picked that one to go with, but there's there's the molecules in like Tylenol or type of thing are in the same list. So it's just sort of a regulatory thing. But we also have anti-inflammatory molecule in it, and we also have another molecule called ETA that helps break down the toxins itself that cause pain. So we sort of attack lionfish venom from all angles.
Yes. So two of the main ingredients, two of the ingredients in that list that make up this cream will act together to block the pain.
Okay.
One of them is going to pretty much destroy the venom, and the other one is going to prevent the venom from attacking the nerve cells. So they work together to really eliminate very quickly the pain that's produced by that sting.
Got it. So the is it immediate, Reza? I mean, when you rub it on the sting area, I assume.
Right.
I mean, would you feel the effects immediately, or does it take a few minutes, or what?
Before we wanted to launch this, we were kind of nervous. So we said we got to try it on ourselves,
Okay.
So, we work a bit with the divers in Florida, including Alex Fogg, and we asked them, next time you guys go to a derby, just cut all those spines and put them in a tube, ship them to us up in Montreal. So we had about, over 100 spines, and what we did was we collected the venom from all these spines and made like a concentrated extract of venom. And, we ended up injecting ourselves with this venom just to test
Wow.
it.
This is Frankenstein type stuff.
And so we kind of put ourselves in the shoes of divers. We said, okay, if you're at the bottom and you get stung, it's going to take you a few minutes to safely surface, get to the boat. So we said, okay, minimum 3 minutes. So we were in pain for, this thing was excruciatingly painful, I have to tell you.
Oh, I've seen it. And, we spoke about it. They are not a pleasant sight to just witness somebody who's been stung by a lionfish. But basically, you got all these barbs, and you start stinging each other with them. And then it was like, how long can you wait before we rub the solution on or the ointment?
Yeah. And we went scientifically. So one was filming the other and asking for scoring system, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much pain do you feel? And what type of pain? Because it's important to know if it's like a sharp shooting pain, if it's a dull background pain, if it feels like it's heating up. So there are different subset of pain sensation, and it's important information to know because it helps us figure out what kind of nerve cells are being activated.
I love it. We're going to learn more about this and maybe apply this to the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. The pain we provide, kind of ease into it a little bit, I think.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with ScubaRadio.
ScubaRadio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
ScubaRadio.
Dive, dive, dive.
What a beautiful morning for fishing. There's one. There's a fish right there.
Got it.
Well, I think that's about the limit for our fishing permit.
Tell me, are you a bad fish too? Are you a bad fish too?
Yeah, they're kind of bad fish, these lionfish. I am Greg the Dive Master. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We're talking about a possible solution for divers who happen to be unfortunate enough to get stung by a lionfish. I have seen this happen to my buddy, the Scuba Cowboy, and I knew right away that I never wanted to have that happen to me. But now there seems to be a product that Stephanie and Reza have come up with. By the way, it's called the Stingmaster is the name of this new, Stephanie, what would you call it? An ointment, cream, or what? How do you describe that?
I would say it's a cream. So it's a really lightweight formula. It's not sticky. It doesn't have a smell. It just absorbs very quickly and blocks the pain caused by lionfish stings.
Right.
It's called Stingmaster, as you said, and we formulated it for one of the most painful stings in the ocean from the lionfish. And because it's such a potent cream, it also works for jellyfish stings. And we got a video actually from a user on Thursday or Friday who had just gotten stung by fire coral and was telling us about how incredibly it worked on her fire coral sting, and it was instantaneous pain relief. So I guess it works for fire coral also.
Well, there you go. You definitely want to have this in a Save a Dive kit. Kyle, what do you think about this stuff?
I was actually just going to ask if you guys have tested it for other things, other types of stings, that sort of stuff. So that's really cool. But the other thing I'm curious about, I love that it's the natural stuff that's actually doing the job there. Have you guys looked into other things, or are there other natural remedies for maybe some of the anti-inflammatory type stuff like turmeric and that sort of thing?
Yeah. What else can you use rhubarb for other than pies? I mean, can you what'll work on? I mean, can you? By the way, you wouldn't recommend people, rubbing this on their lionfish sting and then, like, hey, let me put this on some toast. You don't eat it, right? It's not that, Reza.
Right. No. It's an extract from the rhubarb. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not
okay.
Not the
All right.
branches that you cook and this and that.
There you
But,
go. All right.
But the ingredient in the rhubarb extract, it blocks one of the ways that the nerve cells detect pain. That means that if those nerve cells would be involved in other types of pain, in theory, you should be able to block them with that same ingredient as well.
Okay. All right. Well, that's encouraging. Yeah. I mean, if you're just covering, jellyfish and lionfish, I mean, you've covered 90% of the problems that we have with scuba diving. Maybe, well, sea lice, it applies to sea lice too, because they're a form of jellyfish, right, Stephanie? Yeah.
They're a form of cnidarian, I think. So it's like the class that jellyfish fall under, but that it would work for sea lice stings since they're less severe even than a jellyfish sting.
Yeah, and before I forget, the Stingmaster product is actually available now, and the website is what, Reza? How do you say this? I'm looking at it.
Pterotech. Just think like a pterodactyl. The lionfish is the real name is Pterois volitans, so PTERO tech.
Okay.
Yeah, PTEROTECH.com, and you can buy the product directly from our website.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah, they're just getting started. It's a pretty cool thing.
And yeah, you can check us out on Instagram also. It's sting.master on Instagram if anyone's interested.
There you go.
And the other sort of branch of our research is studying human pain with lionfish stings.
Okay, we got plenty of volunteers for you in that regard. If you need anybody you need to abuse, we got an entire crew of Scuba Radio Scuba Squad members, like Jerry the diver guy. What do you think, Jerry?
Well, Greg, I want to go back a second here. They were talking about injecting this into their self.
Yeah.
I mean,
stabbing each other with lionfish barbs. Yeah.
You've seen this and I've seen this. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what was y'all's pain?
Yeah, Stephanie, what do you think? When Reza stabbed you with a lionfish barb, did you go, ow? Or did you go, ah? What was it like?
We each stabbed ourselves just so that it was a voluntary stab.
I see. All right.
But it was definitely, I would say within the first minute after, it wasn't so bad. But then I started feeling the climbing pain. It was kind of like a needle was stuck in my arm and it was just getting wiggled around. It wasn't really like a pain I'd felt before.
Okay.
No one did that
and it was, within 5 minutes, I felt like I was at a 10, and then it kept getting higher. Like I didn't realize it could get more and more painful. So
that makes sense.
Higher and higher.
When the scuba cowboy got stung by a lionfish, that's exactly how it happened once we got topside.
Yeah.
When we got out of the water, he thought he had really solved his problem by squeezing the pus out of this lionfish sting area underwater. He kept doing the dive, which kind of surprised me, but he thought maybe if he squeezed out the venom, that would work. They didn't do the trick because as soon as
I'm uncomfortable thinking of it.
Yeah, it was gross. Trust me, a lot of goo, that kind of thing underwater. But when we got topside, as soon as we unloaded our gear, you could see his demeanor start to change dramatically, and it was pretty pretty insane.
And then when we were lucky enough to put Stingmaster on, right when we were at that maximum pain, it started dropping so fast that Reza and I were both surprised. Like, is this also not hurting for you anymore?
Yeah.
And like within 2 minutes, the pain went from a 10 to 5 or lower, and just continued dropping. And It was
yeah. So
surprising.
we actually did it again. Like we injected ourselves a second time, but this time waiting longer before applying the cream. And I think Stephanie went the longest because she held up 10 minutes before she actually applied the cream. And once again, as soon as she applied it, within 45 seconds to 90 seconds, the pain had dropped.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest, Reza. You know, women are much more pain tolerant than guys. We cry like little
I was
kids.
bright red. I get red very easily, and you should have seen how red I was right before we put the Stingmaster on.
Okay. All right. Kyle, what do you think?
I got another question. So, all right. So once you put this stuff on, the pain eases, all that kind of stuff. Would it be okay, or is it going to wash off and lose its effects if you go on another dive?
So
if you get back in the water, is it going to?
In theory, once it's absorbed, it's absorbed. So you might have to reapply when you get out of the water, but if you apply it, it's absorbed into your skin, you can go in, because the molecules themselves actually have to get absorbed in order to block the pain. So once the cream itself is absorbed, there shouldn't be anything relevant helping for your pain relief on your skin surface. But yeah.
There you go.
It's working.
I love it. All right. So
this needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry, what were you going to say?
What about just eating rhubarb by itself?
Oh, I knew he was going to go there.
It has to get to the spot.
Has to get to the spot.
Oh, okay.
You got to chew up your piece of pie and then spit it out. It'd be all gross. It'd be a mess.
And it would take a very long time. It would take a very. I don't think it would work, but if it did, it would take a long time.
Yeah, I just answer this, Vinny. No, you cannot smoke it.
If we all get a pie and throw it at Greg, it'll eventually help him with his pain.
All right, what did he say? Oh gosh, got a block. We need an ointment for Barry. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, no, Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Our special guest, Stephanie and Reza from Stingmaster. They make this cream that will, help you out if you get stung by a lionfish while you're out on your dive. God forbid that. Sea lice, jellyfish. I mean, it sounds like something you need in your Save a Dive kit. And you've been working on this at least for, a couple years now, you figure, Stephanie?
Yeah, so I started working on lionfish venom in 2017 or so, and I formally started my PhD in 2018. So it's been 3-ish years. Wow,
a lot of work went into this, but the thing is, it was a breakthrough. I mean, it was a breakthrough when you talked to me about this at the DEMA show. So I'm very happy that you've been able to bring it to market with this Stingmaster stuff. I'm anxious to give it a try myself. I just smear it all over the ScubaRadio Scuba Squad and then stab them with lionfish barbs.
I think it's the other way around.
Huh?
You stab them first, then you smear.
No, this is research. It's science.
Stab, smear.
This is science. We are conducting science. We are
hand him cash.
We are.
I really think he just wants to stab us. Period.
Yeah. Well, of course, we're citizen scientists.
Up.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Honorary PhD for this?
Well, there are ways that you can participate in a more constructive way than maybe than I just described.
Line up here for stab and smear.
Okay, that's we might have to help you out with your marketing. We will come up with the things that you don't want to use. Like, don't do this. Whatever you do, if you want to succeed. Is that what we're going for, CJ?
No, we're just testing the product.
Well, okay. What was it again?
You're way off.
What's the slogan?
Line up here for stab and smear.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It does have a ring to it for sure, but
like a bathtub ring.
Yeah, maybe. There's other ways you can participate and help these folks out. We're going to talk about that next. You might even score a gift card or two. More coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
This is a show that I feel has depth to it.
Has depth to it?
No. It has depth. It has depth and density to it.
Many layers of solid entertainment here.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ's in the studio with me. We have the ScubaRadio Scuba Squad connected via the web, but our special guests are Stephanie and Raza. They do the Stingmaster ointment, gel, wipe-on goo. Yeah, we got to work on that.
Greg, not everything is goo with you.
Well, it comes in a little canister. You can buy it online right now, the Stingmaster stuff, and help you out if you ever get stung by a jellyfish or you find a dive buddy that is unfortunate enough to have a little incident with that jellyfish or sea lice for that matter. You get caught in that stuff, it gets all itchy. Those are kind of annoying, but a sting from a jellyfish or a lionfish is extremely painful. Won't kill you necessarily or anything like that, but who wants to cry like a little baby?
Greg does.
Quiet you. But look, you can help them out. I mean, this is a brand new product, and you've had plenty of testimonials already, but you're really going a little further down the road here on the research, right, Raza? What are you doing exactly?
That's right. So we're scientists before any of this. So our goal was initially to bring it to people who get stung as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is that we want to help raise awareness within government bodies about the problem that this is causing. And we realized very quickly that there hadn't been any actual study to determine the how much pain, the impact of these stings were causing to people, whether it's the immediate pain that they have or the disability that they have. We talked to even pet store attendants who got stung cleaning the aquaria of these fish, and they said, I got stung, I was out for 2 weeks. It didn't work.
Wow. Yeah.
So we're really trying to get the understand first the type of pain that's being caused by these lionfish and how it impacts the people as well. So with Stephanie, and we also partner up with another professional, another scientist here in Montreal who designs clinical studies to come up with a pain questionnaire that would allow us to really get to the bottom of the type of pain that is caused by these lionfish and its impact on the individuals.
There you
so
go.
we were able to launch that. Stephanie can tell you more about this.
That's right. Yeah. So there's a survey you've just posted up online. You're looking for about 1,000 participants. It's, it just take about 5-10 minutes. So if you've been stung by a lionfish, you can do your own little citizen science by participating. And what's the website for this little survey, Stephanie?
So the website's really easy to remember. It's just called lionfishpain.org. And you'll be able to find a link to take the survey there, and also information about, why we're doing this study, what our research is. And this will also be the home for the data that we collect afterwards. So not only do we want to, study this from a scientific point of view, but since there are really no resources or any records anywhere of like how many people get stung by lionfish per year, what happens to people overall when they get stung, we want to be able to, once we collect the data and we publish it, we're going to adapt it so that it's understandable for anyone in the general public, and it can be accessible on this website so people can check it out themselves. And we'll also try to have a feature where, like, as we keep the survey open after it's been published, we sort of update the data live to show whether this is changing over time, whether it's not changing over time, and so on and so forth.
I love it. Lionfishpain.org. Go there, fill out the survey. Like you said, it'd take about 10 minutes or so. If you've been stung, that's what they want to know, and kind of monitor, your pain threshold. They're not going to stab you with more barbs or anything. It's just, revisit your experience and share it. And as a bonus, like for every 250 participants, you're going to give away a little gift card for everybody that helps out with this. Is that right, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every 250 participants, we're going to raffle off a $100 Visa gift card. So it's worthwhile to participate and get your friends to participate. So we raffle off the first one faster.
Yeah. And by the way, they're not going to track you either, unless, you need to provide like your email and name and stuff if you want in on the raffle. If you want to just participate, not even use your name and just do it anonymously because you're a little, worried about privacy or anything like that, they're not taking a lot of info in that regard. They're only taking the info so they can, let you know if you happen to win a gift card.
Other pains, like
your sciatica and stuff like that, or hangover cures.
Fix your broken heart.
Moonshine.
Right. No, but
other
good
pains.
point. Yeah, you bring an important point. The important thing is that this is a cream, right? So it's got to be applied on the skin, and it's going to penetrate like the first few layers of the skin. And there are some nerve cells that are located just this deep that is going to work on, like a sunburn, for example, or a sting. But if the pain comes from tissue that's deeper than that, then the ingredients are not going to be able to reach that zone. Okay?
Yeah, that's where the moonshine kicks in. So, but that's just for him. Just so we're clear there, Reza. We appreciate it. Well, I love it. I think it's amazing work that you guys are doing. It just makes diving just that much more fun. We don't have to worry about this as much. By the way, are you both divers? Or are you diving now, Stephanie, yourself, or no? I think you were talking about it at one point.
Yeah, I'm stuck up in Canada, so there's not much diving to be done here.
Oh, there's plenty of diving up there. Are you kidding me?
In the Great Lakes, yeah.
They definitely, you got plenty of diving up there. It's just very, very cold. You need to come up with a cream that compensates for things like, well, it wouldn't really apply to Stephanie, but for the guys, some kind of ointment that'll address shrinkage.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That was probably not appropriate, but wouldn't be the first time.
We all apologize now.
Yeah, we apologize.
I apologize right off the top. So there you go. But once again, I do think it's good stuff. And if you haven't dove, you need to get in there. And, now that you're protecting us from it, you have no excuse other than the cold water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as I can go to Florida, you can see me at some point hunting a lionfish, and I'll be using Stingmaster on
there you go.
Lionfish
Well, like I say, you come down here and we'll volunteer on our entire ScubaRadio Scuba Squad to dive with you, and you can poke them. with lionfish
Awesome.
barbs
Greg
as a
will
bonus.
stand
Anyone else,
right
anyone
behind
who uses it, please tell us how it is. Tell us what you guys think and give us your testimonials. Like we want all the user information possible.
There you go. Great stuff. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new ScubaRadio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 ScubaRadio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always, and I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New ScubaRadio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com. So cool. Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Time now for Scuba Radio's Forgotten Acronyms in Diving History. FADH, or as we like to call it around here, FAD.
Divers receiving underwater navigational knowledge of scuba. Drunks.
This has been Forgotten Acronyms in Diving History. FAD. On Scuba Radio.
An oldie but a goodie. I am Greg the Dive Master, and boy, more things change the more they stay.
I
the
was
same.
like a baby when I did that.